Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. This is Hamza Noor, and in this particular video I'm going to solve some questions from the topic vectors O level additional mathematics 4037. First of all, we have October November 2021 paper 2 variant 3. Question number is 7. The vector P has magnitude 39 and is in the direction minus 5i plus 12j. The vector Q has magnitude 34 and is in the direction 15i minus 8j. The requirement for part A is write both P and Q in terms of I and j. All right, so the first thing first, we have a vector minus 5i plus 12j. Let's say this is the starting point. So minus 5i plus 12j. So this is basically a vector. And then we have a vector P. Let's say the starting point of that vector P is over here, or let's say that the starting point is over here, or let's say it is having the same starting point as the starting point of the vector minus 5i plus 12j. I mean, this illustration is just for your understanding that what's actually happening over here, what conclusion which I'm going to take from this thing. Okay, you don't need to make a sketch of this. It's just for your understanding. In all of these three cases, I would say that the vector P is a scalar multiple of the vector minus 5i plus 12j. This is basically the concept. I mean, in these both cases, I would say that vector P is parallel to the vector minus 5i plus 12j. And if that vector P is on the same line as of minus 5i plus 12j, I would say that the vector P is on the same line, but it is having a different magnitude. In all of these three cases, I would say that vector P is a scalar multiple of minus 5i plus 12j vector. As simple as that. Okay. So when one one vector is a scalar multiple of another vector, so we say that their magnitudes are also scalar multiples of each other. Therefore, I can say that the magnitude of the vector P is equals to k times magnitude of the vector minus 5i plus 12j. And the magnitude of the vector P is given to us, which is 39. So 39 is equals to k multiplied by the magnitude of the vector minus 5i plus 12j, which will be under root of minus 5 squared plus 12 squared. So 39 is equals to k times under root of 25 plus 144. So 39 is equals to k multiplied by under root of 169. Under root of 169 is 13. So 13k is equals to 39, and therefore k is equals to 3. In this case, the value of the scalar multiple is 3. And now, once we are able to tell that the scalar multiple is 3, so therefore we can say that vector P is equals to 3 times minus 5i plus 12j. So vector P is minus 15i plus 36j. As simple as that. Same working we are going to do for the vector Q now. Let me make some space on this page. Same working we are going to do for the vector Q. So vector Q has magnitude 34 and is in the direction of 15i minus 8j. So I'm going to say that vector Q is equals to k times of 15i minus 8j. Okay. I mean, this scalar multiple can be k, can be lambda, can be mu, can be t, can be s, can be anything. Okay. So the magnitude of the vector Q is also equals to k times the magnitude of the vector 15i minus 8j. As simple as that. So the magnitude of the vector Q is 34. 34 is equals to k times of under root 15 square plus minus 8 squared. So 34 is equals to k times of 225 plus 64. So 34 is equals to k multiplied by under root of 289, and under root of 289 is 17. So 17k equals 34. Therefore, k is equals to 2 in this case. Scalar multiple is 2 in this case. Therefore, we can say that the vector q is 2 times of 15i minus 8j. Therefore, vector q is 30i minus 16j. This is your part A for 4 marks. Then we have part B. Part B says that find the magnitude of P plus Q and the angle this vector makes with the positive x-axis. So P plus Q would be, as we know that the vector P is minus 15i plus 36j. So minus 15, 36 plus 30i minus 16j. So 30 minus 16. Therefore, P plus Q vector is supposed to be 15, 20. And therefore, the magnitude of the vector P plus Q is supposed to be under root of 15 square plus 20 square, which is under root of 225 plus 400, which is under root of 625, and this is 25 units. This is the magnitude of the vector P plus Q. Now we need to also find the angle that it makes with the positive x-axis. But first, let me give you an illustration through a sketch of a diagram. You don't need to make that sketch, but it is just for your ease to understand that what's actually happening over here. As we know the fact that the vector P is minus 15i plus 36j. Okay, let's say this is your vector P. And vector Q is basically 30i minus 16j. So 30i minus 16j. Let's say this is your vector Q. So in order to make the P plus Q vector over here, what I'm going to do is take this vector Q, and the tail of this vector will be put on the head of the vector P. Okay, let's say this is vector Q over here, and P plus Q would be this vector. All right, so as we can see that the P plus Q vector is, both of the components, the I components and the J component, are positive over here. So the vector P plus Q is now, I'm just going to make a separate sketch for this P plus Q, as I know that how P plus Q vector is, in which direction the P plus Q vector is going, as I already know from this thing that P plus Q is 15i plus 20j. This diagram is just for your understanding. You don't need to make this in this exam because it is not required to do so over here in this particular question. So 15i plus 20j. The thing is that we need to make an angle. We need to find the angle that this vector makes with the positive x-axis. So this is basically the positive x-axis, and we need to find this angle theta over here. As simple as that, nothing else. So in order to find this angle theta, so tan theta is equals to opposite over adjacent. Tan theta is equals to 20 over 15. Theta equals tan inverse 20 over 15, and theta is equals to tan inverse 20 over 15. So if you are giving your answer in degree mode, so write your answer correct to 1 decimal place. But if you are giving your answer in radian mode, write it correct to 3 significant figures until and unless some other accuracy is mentioned over in until unless some other accuracy is mentioned in the question. All right, so theta is equals to 53.1 degrees. This is basically the angle that this vector makes with the positive x-axis.